former Florida Democratic gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum faces federal indictment. Let me give you some background to this story. Now, he actually announced earlier today that he was expecting to be indicted. He tried to get in front of the story by saying that his actions have always had integrity. And then a few hours after his statement, the federal government released theirs. I'm going to give you both, all right? Andrew Gillum, the once rising star in the Florida Democratic Party, who narrowly lost in 2018 against Ron DeSantis, was hit with a 21-count federal indictment Wednesday for wire fraud related conspiracy charges and making false statements. I'm gonna give you some background to those charges and the allegations from the federal government, as well as how long or how much time a person will serve in prison if convicted. Gillum, the former Tallahassee mayor, was charged along with his mentor, Sharon Lettman-Hicks, for fraudulently fundraising from various entities between 2016 to 2019. That time frame is important. I want you to remember it. That's according to the DOJ. The Justice Department said the two allegedly diverted money to a company controlled by Lettman-Hicks. Doesn't necessarily mean owned, but controlled, okay? Who then disguised the funds as payroll payments back to Gillum. So let's understand the allegation of conspiracy. So far, what the government is alleging is that there was basically a scheme to transform campaign dollars into additional money for Gillum by way of a payroll check from a company controlled by his mentor. In a written statement, the mayor's lawyer also proclaimed his innocence. Lettman-Hicks, a candidate for the state house seat, has not returned calls or text from NBC News requesting comment. In his written statement, Gillum said, and I quote, "I have spent the last 20 years of my life in public service and continue to fight for the people. Every campaign I've run has been done with integrity. Make no mistake that this case is not legal, it is political. Throughout my career, I have always stood up for the people of Florida and have spoken truth to power. There's been a target on my back ever since I was the mayor of Tallahassee. They found nothing then, and I have full confidence that my legal team will prove my innocence now." So let's go to the legal team. His lawyer is Mark Elias. Mark says, who's a leading Democratic lawyer and top defense attorney, David Oscar Marcus, also issued a joint statement that said they'll fight to clear his name. The government got it wrong today, according to the statement. The evidence in this case is clear and will show that Mr. Gillum is innocent of all charges. We look forward to putting this case to rest and giving Andrew and his family peace of mind once and for all. Now, according to NBC News, this indictment marks a new low for Gillum, a married father of 3 who withdrew from public life as a political leader and a paid CNN contributor after a March 2026 scandal involving a suspected male overdose victim in a South Beach hotel. Many of us remember that story. Now, I actually am supportive of individuals who may have an addiction, and he did come out and say he had a problem, all right? I support you, okay? I used to be a drinking man myself. Haven't had a drink in years, thankfully. But that's part of life. The journey is up and down. Nobody's perfect, we get that. The allegations, however, I don't get. If this is true, I do not understand it. I don't know why anyone would act in this way. But there's more. At the time, Gillum did admit that he was abusing alcohol as he coped with his loss to DeSantis. But campaign finance records and a leaked criminal subpoena in 2019 showed that Gillum also had issues and pressure from an FBI investigation. Let me give you the rundown of what the charges are and what they would carry. So the maximum term for imprisonment based on the offenses are as follows. For making false statements, 5 years. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud, 20 years. Wire fraud, 20 years. That's according to the US Department of Justice press release. Now, naturally, of course, the guy's innocent until proven guilty. That's a standard in the court of law. There is no additional evidence put forward right now from the federal government. All we have is a press release from them and nothing more. I did hope that his attorneys would provide more context, more explanation. Sometimes they do, most times they do not in their own rebuttal to the federal government. As it stands now, we simply have 2 press releases and nothing else. We have a press release from the feds and we have a press release from Gillum and his team. All right, we'll follow this story obviously as it develops. The evidence will be put forward at the appropriate time, and I'm sure there will be leaks that happen before that. Jackson, thoughts here?
Yeah, so Andrew Gillum's image and positioning has really taken a lot of hits over the last few years. And unfortunately, like you said, he's innocent until proven guilty. So we'll have to see how this continues to develop. But, this investigation took place between 2016 and 2019. So if these things do come out to be true, then I think it's a sad case of seeing a man fall victim to the temptations of corruption. We see people in all levels of office, commit fraud and, do things like lower taxes for properties, all types of things like that. So people fall temptation all the time. But I think, unfortunately, even if Andrew Gillum were to come out of this, scot clean, he's kind of done in this arena because when he got caught up in that scandal, it just kind of made it look like he just lives a double life, which no matter what it is, it just looks like your integrity can always be in question. And so now this, he just has really been on a spiral downward that's been pretty bad to watch.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see when he lost the CNN gig. He actually resigned. They allowed him to resign. He leaves CNN, he's quiet for a few months, and then he comes out with a podcast that was actually moderately popular. And he interviewed some top names in the political realm. He was an effective recruiter, so to speak. And then now this happens. All right, as I said, we're gonna follow the story top to bottom, okay?